Warriors, who's ready to trade the consumer pain index? Ran, AJ, how are you guys doing today? Blake, Ryan, how are you? Hugo, Chris Morning. Yeah, even Blake and I are feeling a little cooler temperatures in the morning now. I think it's our last week of heat. So, can you take the heat? Give me a Y if you could take the heat. If you can't, don't trade. All right. Hey, Patrick. Yes. All right. So let's talk about markets going into it. Yeah, I want to start off with silver here. And I'm showing the weekly chart here. And we have the makings of a 2 week reversal. Just count back. If we close tomorrow under 50, what is this? 32.8. No, that's not it. It's this one. 31.15. Okay. So, 2 weeks ago, on our way to new highs, cleaned out the stops. It's a pretty negative week here. We have to hold the lows. Closes under 30, I think will make the market very vulnerable. Okay, so for precious metal heads, I have other reasons too. All right, maybe we rally back to 31.50 on because the dollar I think is due to pull back, but under this line, just an average count would take it down to 27. But what really bothers me is this formation in the gold silver ratio, which, I don't think is done. And if I go to the daily, I think we could make new highs. Now, that's not always a predictor of direction, but it is a predictor of which one's showing more relative strength. And to me, this looks kind of bullish, right? So I think we're going to trade over 90, which, is in gold's favor over silver. So that's another reason I would just be careful with silver. I actually am looking to sell rips. And, we could trade sharply lower in silver over the coming weeks, clean out some of the bear bullishness in the precious metals over the next several weeks, and have a great buy sometime in November, maybe 4 weeks from now, due for that type of correction. And I do think that the Dixie has done enough for this first wave. Going back to Greg's analysis before I left, he's looking for 3 waves like an ABC. So it's very possible if we get a benign number that we could pull back towards 102, 101 and a half before we have another wave. And this is close to 300 points. So, if we get a C that's 1.618 from here, 101 and a half, that would get you 106, which is this major weekly trend line, which is where I think we're going. You know, the reason behind it, I don't know if it's going to be risk off or maybe yields are going to continue higher, but here's that big line. It would come in up here. So I think that would shake out a lot of dollar bears. And maybe that's what we need. So that's my take on what's going on here. So I think there's a bounce coming in Euro cable, Aussie, yen starting it here. Uh, I don't think this is it in yen, but I am looking for a correction in the dollar. So I would fade dollar strength on the number. That's what I see coming in. But see, that's just my 2 eyes. So this is a microcosm of what happens at ForexAnalytix. Is F.A.C.E is a microcosm because I only have 2 eyes, but Blake and Ryan are here. Okay, so here are my ideas before I talk to these guys, and it's part of my intelligence gathering that I do here, and checking out all the research on the site gives me ideas, and counters maybe some ideas that makes me think about what my narrative is to consider the other side of the market. And that's your advantage of being with us. Okay. Your advantage is you have multiple views, and when they all come together with different methodology, it gives you more conviction because there's confluence of opinion with different methodology of potentially the same direction in a market. Everyone with me on that? You understand that? Give me a why. And you need that. Okay. You need that. I keep being Dixie Bear. No, before I left, I was looking for 102. But anyway, uh, that's a great reason to uh, grow. You have to grow. All right, so let's get to the team. So Ryan just texted a pullback in Dixie. Oh, that's a different Ryan. But Ryan, what do you think of what I'm talking about here in
Too
euro?
many lines.
Yeah,
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You everyone has different views, different opinions, or whatever. It's how you act on it, isn't it? Really?
yeah, yeah. So as far as euro, 110 still a big level for you. And Blake said
Yeah,
yesterday that the euro could make new lows for the move and have some divergence, and we do. We have some divergence. It's not great. It's under 30, but we could rally back towards 110, 110.20, and have some, and that would be a sale in my mind. Okay.
yeah.
Cable's still acting a little better. I mean, I don't like
Not
this
much.
candle right now. Yeah, I don't like the candle. And Aussie, same type of thing.
Holding.
Aussie, yeah, holding better. And there's a 1-2 maybe. Aussie looks like it might be the better buy for a rebound if you want to trade it. I'm not gonna trade it. I'd rather
Yeah.
wait for the pullback. Okay,
Stick it on
to
a daily,
this
Blake.
one.
Dale. Yeah, stick this one on a daily because there is a ton of tech confluence around this 67 handle. So from a tech perspective, yeah, this is might be one of the ones that you might want to trust a bit
Yeah,
more. You got that moving average there. Is what I don't
yeah.
know what moving averages you've got, but I've got the 100, the 55 right on the
Oh,
lows here. 55 daily,
okay. That's a 50.
67.10. The
Yeah,
100, 66.90.
yeah, right
Um,
there.
yeah, the
Yeah,
38.2 fib of the August rally, 67.15. So right in this
yeah.
67 zone, there's a lot of traffic here.
Yeah, and why can't it rally back to the false breakout line and not make
Yeah,
a new high? Some type of failing rally is what I'd be looking for. And Canada is really, I warned people not to short it before I left. I said, because if the dollar does bottom at par, it's going to rip your face off. And I don't think there's many people still short this one. So, but I'd be looking, this one would be a great pullback buy at 36 if that happens, if we get this pullback in the Dixie to, 101 and a half.
yeah.
So, yeah. So metals
Well,
are
I'll
up.
be keeping. I could be keeping my eye on that 136.50 in the loony.
Okay. All right.
That's the first level.
Do you think this is it in yen? Or there still could be a pop towards 50, 51?
Oh yeah, we could do that today on a really hot CPI number, such as the volatility in it.
Okay.
I'll be more inclined to buy a dip in this one. I've had that bias
Right.
since we came off
Before I
those.
left,
Yeah,
before I
exactly,
left, I
exactly.
I don't know I think I left on this day where it looked like, uh-oh, maybe that's the end of the rally. But if you gutted this out, Ryan, and I bet you did you? This pullback?
Well, I was just about to say, as much as I got a bias on this one, my last trade was a short, which I managed to
Okay.
make some money on. So yeah,
Because I know you were long from down here. And
yeah,
yeah, so this you know,
I,
I don't
I
know
got
what day
tripped
it.
out. Yeah,
Okay.
my trailer got hit. I was long down to 142, rode it all the way back up, and then got done on the trailer just as it when it pulled back. That moved to 143 a few days later.
Yeah.
I got tricked out on my trailer, and then it obviously goes on without me, doesn't it? So,
Yeah.
but that's trading. But yeah, so this one down to 147, 147.20.
Yeah.
I'd be interested if I saw that today.
Okay.
Um,
Go
I have
ahead.
to warn that there's a lot of risk for the weekend again surrounding China because they've got this Ministry of Finance meeting thing, and the market's getting all hopium up again. So if they do something, we'll see risk on the open. If they don't do anything, the market probably sees a bit of risk off because it's going to be disappointed again, like it was on Tuesday.
All right. So, here's China. Okay.
Yeah, a bit sideways now, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Baba. So, I'd sell rallies here too. If we get a rally in China, it's very possible that this was just no. I mean, what are the tendencies of bear market rallies? What are they? Sharp, fast,
Yeah.
and not long lasting as far as time is concerned. So, is this a bear market rally? Was it? You can't tell from a daily. It looks great, but I don't know. How's it look from a weekly? Oh, look at that. Uh-huh. So a major
Yeah.
moving average came in there. And, that might be what's going to be behind any, once we get to certain levels in the S&Ps, a pullback in S&Ps. But this could have just been, a short squeeze. And maybe the market's going to challenge China on their policy moves. And
It will do. Yeah,
it,
that big red
it,
candle that we're showing for the week is already showing that. But if you want to pick your battles, there's one country, one central bank. You always say don't fight the Fed. There's one country, one central bank that you really don't
don't
want to
fight.
fight because
That's China.
if they want to take stocks up another 50%, they've got the ammo to do so. So yeah,
Okay.
if it was any other country, you'd think, yeah, sod you, you're not going to get this stuff isn't going to work,
Yeah.
and you're not going to do any more. So I'm going to fade you. But China, no, they can keep doing this for a long time yet.
Okay. Don't fight China. I I hope that our national defense team heard you because I don't want to fight them. They kicked our ass in Korea. All right, so people don't remember that. What's Korea? That's Kim Jong Un. Well, there was a war in Korea. So I
Yeah,
just want to wrap it before I go to Blake. That this action yesterday in WTI was a pretty nice pullback to important support. And I think the bull case depends upon this low at 71. So, if you want to buy crude, maybe buy a pullback. And, if you want to trade a Middle East scenario and, your risk is under here. I don't think you want to be long under 71 and a half or give it a little room, 71. So yesterday seems to be a key day in crude. So, Blake, what are you thinking coming into the numbers? Good morning, boss.
Good morning. I'm just kind of thinking that that today's going to be a mover. I mean,
Yeah,
today is everybody's just been waiting around all week for inflation data. So now that we're here, I think you're going to see a reaction. You got currencies like the euro that's really in breakdown territory. I mean, we have a big double top here
yeah,
in the euro dollar, and I mean that still suggests while we're below 110 that we make it to 108 eventually. I have to
yeah.
say though, you know, the market's really been leaning the last couple of days into dollar strength. So we have to get a hotter than expected print. I don't even think inline's going to do the trick. We have to have like an actual uptick in inflation. And if we don't, there's a risk that the euro, backtracks a little bit to 110, because it's not just the euro, that you have this dollar, move. You look at sterling, we're, nearing 130. You've got, you guys were just talking about the Aussie, but the Aussie's trading really heavy. You got the dollar yen that's had I mean, what is that? What does that move from, after the new prime minister was put in or elected, excuse me, we've had a nearly 800, 900 pip move, which
Yeah.
you would have thought. I mean, this is the move you would have expected on Takashi, that would have said, no, the BOJ is doing nothing. But this happened on Ashiba. Ryan, what do you think would happen if Takashi was actually sworn in as prime minister? We would probably be trading up to 160. I don't know. I mean, it's been a crazy move just in the yen. So anyway, I think that the dollar is obviously, people are leaning into dollar strength. They're looking around at, I was just having a conversation with Chris Weston last night for the trade-off show, our weekly trade-off show that we do. And he's so bullish the dollar, because he's like, look at Europe, look at the RBNZ just cut 50 basis points. Look at every central bank is so dovish, and we've cut 50, but the US economy looks pretty good. So I think that everybody's expecting the dollar to continue to really rally. And we've seen, I mean, as you were just pointing out, Dale, I mean, we've seen this massive rally in the dollar index. We've actually gone a lot further than I thought already by this week. I thought we would just be stalling here at the 38% retracement, this underside of this previous triangle. I thought we would just be sitting here ahead of the data, and then following the data, we'd be breaking out. But yeah, we hit new highs on very divergent relative strength. So the technicals are really leaning into, if this data is not good, we should see a pretty decent pullback. But I think that pullback is to be bought. Like I said, I think a gift would be the euro trading back towards 110. I think if we get back towards 110, maybe 109.80, 109.90 today, if we're so lucky to see that happen, I think you got to sell into it. So I don't know, and then you look at gold, and as you pointed out, crude oil, and you got, copper's weak. Ryan, you bring up a great point. We were discussing this last night, and I wasn't even aware of it until Chris Weston talked about it, that there's a big press conference in China. I mean, everybody's hoping there's a fiscal stimulus coming from China more, because if we don't get that, then China's probably going to end up falling flat on its face, the world will end up unwinding this whole move out of China. So anyway,
there's a risk of that.
It is a risk event, and you have to be very, very well aware of it as we go into this weekend. And I wasn't even paying attention to that until I was told about it. I'm like, wow, that is a bit of a risk event on top of it. I don't know, Dale, you follow what's happening with Israel and Iran. I mean, what do you think is going to happen there?
I still think the retaliation is going to go after nuclear facilities. I don't think it'll happen this weekend. But mid-month, they're getting ready. And so, obviously they're going to retaliate, and they said it's going to be lethal. Well, nothing more lethal than hitting nuke sites. If they could do it without, spreading, nuclear waste and everything else to affect the population. Israel doesn't really isn't enemies with the Iranian people. It's with the Iranian government. So their retaliation's going to try and get the people to rise up again, because it's fragile in Iran. So they're not playing, as Brand says, they're not just George. They don't just talk tough. They act. They're not talkers. They're tough. Anyway, so that's what I think. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Well, it sure hasn't stopped the stock market. I mean, look at,
Yeah.
equities closed at all-time highs. The S&P's closing in on that. I want to show you guys these levels because I know I talked about it on the week ahead video. I know I talked about it last night on the trade-off show, and I just want to make sure that, everybody's aware of where these levels are. You take this move, this move in August where everybody thought that was going to be this is going to be the big sell-off, right? That's the 127% extension at 58.41. This last move lower of this, bullish wedge that we have, the 161% extension is 58.28. We came within 7 or 8 points of that 161%.
I think we get a pullback from that 58.50 level. I don't think it's going to be the top, but I think we're going to get a reaction from that 58.40, 58.50 level.
Well, if you look at the minimum expectations of this bullish wedge, it does point to 6,000. So
that's where I think we're going. But
well,
exactly.
technically, it looks like that's where we're going, and it's frustrating. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of texts that I get from my friends around, the United States that, people that I've traded with over the years and people that I've known for, they're just like, this is the stupidest market. It's like, it's the most hated rally. I know that's a common theme and thing for people to say. It's the most hated rally ever. It's just because it's climbing a wall of worry. Middle East. That's, nothing's happened. So we got to cover. Everybody's just trying to short into the strength. And, until you see technically us break some supports, and there's a good rule of thumb when you're in a very big bullish market like this, just let the previous week's lows get taken out. If that happens, and that happens to be at 36.80, that's last week's, low prices that you saw. If we take out that support, game on. Market's going to show a reversal. Then you can play into it. And then you have manageable risk because okay, well, I get stopped out if we hit new highs. But until then, don't hate the player, hate the game, or don't hate the game, hate the player. Wait, how's that work, Ryan? Somebody help me out. But it's still.
I don't hate anyone. It's all love over here, mate.
But you know what I'm saying? It is just it's bullish until proven otherwise. And I know everybody wants to pick the top. I know. I get the desire.
Yeah. Trade what you see, not what you think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's stupid too. I think it's stupid too. It's stupid. I mean, volatility is on the right. I mean, look at VIX. You go, oh, well,
it's well bid.
VIX is above 20. We should definitely be rolling over. We should theoretically, but we're not. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's like I said, I get a lot of sarcastic texts coming my way throughout the course of the day, and I'm like, stop fighting. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But let's not ignore, there are obviously signs. You look at
breadth.
The yen, and you look at the breadth. There's a lot of things you can.
I talked to Jim. I talked to Jim yesterday, and the number of new highs in the S&Ps was like 190 compared to the prior new high was about 400. So new highs are definitely diminishing at each new high. So, but it could do that for a while. It could do it for another.
We did that. We've done that for 2 years. So
I guess.
I mean, why does it have to stop today? Now, I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying, but why? I just asked the question, why? So let's talk really quick about some of these dollar pairs, because the instant reaction you're going to get, and I don't know what's going to cause like what if we miss, if CPI comes in weak and we see slightly deflationary data, is that going to be what actually moves the stock market lower? I mean, no, I can't even argue what. Ryan, what do you think would roll over equities right now? I mean, honestly, at this point,
nothing. Maybe a really hot one. The core going up, the headline going up above expectations. Yeah, but otherwise it's going to be a dip buy probably, isn't it? Because that's what stocks have done forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. So therefore, factor that into your. And I'm going to put this data flash over here so I can grab it when we're about ready to get the data. Like factor that into your analysis. Like what's gonna really roll over equities right now? I don't
Not
see
knowing who the president is for 2 months after the
Yeah.
election.
Yeah, I mean, then there you got an excuse, right? And I
Yeah.
just I got to tell everybody I just closed my dollar yen, just
Yeah.
or
So
not dollar
it's
yen.
either that domestically, that's it, or it's GOYs with a problem with oil. Those are my two candidates for what, creates risk off.
Okay, is that
So
today?
no,
Okay, then there we
that's
go.
right.
All right,
No, it's
there we
at
go. Yeah,
6,000. It
right.
should
Well,
happen
okay,
around
then
6,000.
sure. Okay, that's not. Is it not? Is it today? No.
Mm-mm.
So let's just think about that. Now, what can move currencies is today's data. You have the CPI coming out. If CPI
Yes.
comes in, I think if it comes in line with expectations, you're going to see a bit of a dollar pullback. And then you have to look at, like, you look at this Aussie. This Aussie is clearly given us a false breakout on so many different levels that now you just have to sell rallies. Any rally back to 67, 80, you got to sell it.
Yeah.
Kiwi. Same type of thing. I mean, the RBNZ is obviously dovish. We hit the 618 retracement yesterday. We are below the 200 DMA. We're below the 50 DMA. So now any 40, 50 pip bounce is going to be sold into. Dollar CAD is on fire, Dale. We would count our blessings if we get a dip down to 136.50. I know you said 136.
That'd be too
But
deep. Yeah.
that's way too deep. Yeah, I think you get a dip
Look
to
at the
130.
NOK. USG
Yeah,
NOK has even been outperforming Canada. Well,
yeah,
no, I guess
Ryan.
not.
No, but Ryan called this perfectly off the lows. I got stuck on the short side and I closed out for a loss. He got long, and this thing's, I mean, hell, we get some risk off, and this thing's going to the moon. But
Yeah.
dollar yen, you look at dollar yen. This is one I'm already starting to sell into.
There's the magic box.
Yeah, that is. I've been planning this trade for
Yeah.
weeks, and so now that we're here, I was firmly against shorting dollar yen down here because every YouTube star that thinks they're a macro analyst was calling for the next
Unwind.
carry trade unwind when the dollar yen was down at 141. It's like, no, that's not, like it's now that we're up here by the 200 DMA, this is a good technical level to be, looking for dollar yen shorts. I think you got about 150 pip window around here to be looking for reversals, and that's what I'm playing into. So any strong data today might get that dollar yen to 150, and if that happens, I think that's the door, right? So anyway, Ryan, any last minute thoughts before we have this data? Because I'm going to pull up all of our charts that we're going to be looking at. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, as always, keep an eye on yields, US yields, because as I've been saying, there's going to come a point where if they keep rallying, the market's going to go, no, you're taking it above where the Fed's going to be cutting to in the next 2 months, let alone the next year. And I think that see some buyers stepping in.
That chart is over here to the right. I'm going to have it's a 15-minute chart of the 10-year yields, and it's following this channel, which, it's pretty apparent that it's following a channel, but we are at the upper end of it. So let's see if let's say inline data, maybe yields come off a little bit. So very good. Dale, you got just less than a minute. What anything else you thinking?
Yeah, I'd fade dollar strength here for just a counter trend trade. So I go small, and I'm looking for Dixie to pull back to 102. Use a money stop, especially if the dollar rallies on this. So, and I'd really position trade is a buy at 101.50 to 102 for a move to 106. But I think this first wave is terminating.
All right, and remember we do have some jobless claims today too. They can, I mean, if they come in, beyond expectations, they could definitely move the market as well. So take that into account. And remember, we have producer prices tomorrow. So before you get so carried away, About 10 seconds, dollars on the left, S&P's in the middle. You got 10-year yields right to the right-hand side. Let's see what we get here. We're about ready to go.
Okay,
Strong data.
Hot.
Hot is right.
Okay, so this could be the this could
Whoa,
be the fade.
what just happened with the dollar? Oh, look at the initial jobless claims. Woo-wee. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's creating the move right there. What do you make of that, Ryan? Where did my
I'm fading that. I'm fading that, mofo. I've just bought 148.82 in dollar yen, because if we're trading on a 28k switch in jobless claims, they can go whistle on that. But that CPI
I don't
data
know
was
where did my data flash? I must have just accidentally closed it. So let me pull that back around. Yeah, that is a big jump in jobless claims.
No, it's not 28k. It's not. Come on now, wake me up when we're trading at 400,000 a week.
I don't
Go
know.
yields.
This move in yields. Yeah, Ryan, you're the one that said, look at yields, and yields are going down. I mean, I know.
And so it's a dollar.
Wake me up when they revise them down by $1 million in about a year.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, if they do, and hey, Steve, I'm sorry. I saw that you were here earlier. We just got carried away, I guess, in conversation. I know Dale has an interview coming up, but what are you thinking right now of seeing what you just saw?
All data that we just got are obviously not what the market would ideally want to see, right? Because they all, in essence, would point to a possible reluctancy from the Fed to follow, the path that the market is pricing in. Personally, I think there is a very big chance that this is going to create an opportunity to follow the short-term trend. I don't think the numbers came as much away from expectations to really change the short-term trend, which was the dollar having broken higher, neither really turn equities lower. Equities are either at all-time highs. For example, the S&P produced a new all-time high yesterday, intraday.
S&P likes the dollar strength lately.
Yes, but I think this is a short-term theme, Dale. I don't think this theme is going to be staying with us for long. It can persist for some days, for sure.
Yeah.
But if we assume that dollar strength would be here to stay, at some point the S&P and the rest of the US indices especially would start really caring about it, right? Not immediately, though. So we're definitely going to see, in my opinion, a follow-through to today's numbers. But I don't necessarily think that today's numbers are going to, completely switch what we've been seeing. I think that we might get a little bit more of the dollar moving higher in the days ahead, or perhaps in the week ahead.
Okay, well, the dollar's coming under a little bit of pressure, but not much.
Makes sense.
Makes
sense.
What do we say? This wave was close to terminating. Sell dollar strength. Here's the bounce.
Yeah, but let's not forget, and Ryan, and I know you probably have something to say here, but let's not forget the Fed's focus is on jobs, on the labor market right now. So that's maybe why the dollar's turned, despite the stronger inflation.
Fed's focus is a shifting thing. The Fed will always keep focusing on whatever gives them the better excuse of creating more inflation.
Ryan, did you have any last minute thoughts here before Dale takes over?
Well,
yeah,
Kim disappeared. She was here. Yeah, she's gone. So take your time now.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know what happened, but I'll get in
maybe
touch with her and try and get her back tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
She was here and then she disappeared. Okay. Well, sometimes that happens. Okay, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, this is hilarious. The market's shitting the bed over 28k jump in claims. do me a favour. I've added to my dollar yen at 53.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
fading
All
this
right. So
mofo.
you're adding to dollar yen longs here.
Core
Very good.
CPI went to 3.3% from 3.2%. It was expected to come in unchanged. It's gone up to 3.3%. Headline CPI only came down a point over last month, was expected to come down 2 points. Okay, but the market is throwing its toys out the pram over this jobless claim stuff that's been in a 220, 270 range for nearly over a year now.
Yeah.
Come on. No, I'm not having it.
Okay. Well, I mean, if there's anything that you would think that the government would fiddle with, it'd be some of these jobless claims. So, and but obviously they are ticking a little higher right now. And you're right, they've been in this range for a while, but how about if we pop out of this range? I mean, is that a risk at this point?
What, the jobs range?
Yeah, like let's
Yeah,
say the jobless
of course.
claims start ticking higher above 300,000. I mean,
Of course, but yeah, of course. What's going to happen this week with all the storms and everything?
Oh yeah. But
So
that, I know that, but what's the
for
market going
me,
to trade?
for me, it's all me. It's all about the trend. Okay, it's a bit like getting a 142 non-farm payrolls and then next month getting a 254. It's no different. You're going to get these moves in data, but it's the trend is your friend, and the jobs market, even while those NFPs were coming lower, they were still gains, and the jobs market was still looking strong. So I'm not going to be
So,
swayed
hey,
by the weekly number.
one of the things that we did get is we got a pop higher in gold. It doesn't look like it's sustainable, at least not at this point. So
Same with silver. I was talking about sales up around 31 and a quarter. That's what it needs to close for 2-week reversal, but it doesn't look great to me. It's holding both of them, and gold, Blake. I'd be surprised to see it get above 26.40. 26. That would make it look good back above 26.40. I don't think so.
Oh, well, Ryan, I'm on the opposite side of you with this dollar yen, just because I do feel this is the levels that I want to be short dollar yen longer term. I do think that we are going to eventually, trade back below, and this is more of a yen trade, not necessarily a dollar trade. I just think the dollar yen is going to trade back below this 147.50 level, sometime within, probably within the days ahead. And just because I'm looking for more of a rollover and risk at this point. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens here. The dollar yen's definitely, we got some volatility today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying it for the next 6 months. I'm just reacting to the data. So, 2 different trades, 2 different strategies, and
2 different time frames, possibly. You could both be right.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've seen it.
The wonders of trading.
Or you could both be wrong.
Yeah,
I've seen that too.
We could be. This is a true statement. True statement.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Any last minute comments before we roll into let Dale take over and close us down?
Not really. Following this move, gold and silver are holding important supports. I've shown those on the morning edge. So for the time being, they've been saved by opening the door for deeper corrective moves. Now, I don't know for how long that's going to be. And we are indeed seeing some pullback in the initial reaction. As I said, I think the data were not that strong, right, to necessarily turn the market around on its head. Yes, the market, the data were all dollar positive, theoretically speaking, because inflation was higher and the jobs market was a little bit stronger, right? But I don't think necessarily we're going to see a trend change following those. So I think we should keep monitoring how we close the day. The market seems to be a little bit undecided about how much it wants to push, and take it from there. But I don't see anything really, dramatically shifting.
Okay. All right. And Dale, if Mama Investor's not here, then we'll let you just shut us down, buddy.
All right, she was really supposed to be here tomorrow. That's what I wrote in Discord, but I'm in contact with her and I'll have her here tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so everyone, think we prepared you as as good as possible to. I think the dollar's peaking here for a trade down to 102 or so. So going to be patient with that. And I even heard from Steve in Steve's voice, okay, that when he uses adjectives like the number save silver, and I know how bullish long term Steve is on the precious metals, that I sense that he thinks silver is vulnerable too if we take out 30. So when the bulls are cautious, it's a good time for all of us to be cautious, especially smart bulls like Steve. Okay. So just be careful out there. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. It's been great to be back here this week. And we'll wrap it up with PC tomorrow. Right, guys?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, tomorrow we have PPI.
Oh, PPI. Okay.
PPI.
All right. PPI tomorrow.
PP.
We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, good hunting. Trade well, manage risk, and just keep in mind that like W.D. Gann was one of the best traders in history who was able to call a turn at a certain time in the day, but yet a guy like this, his famous expression is, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. So keep an open mind. It'll keep your account open, and so will being part of the community at ForexAnalytix. That will do more than keep your account open. And that's a wrap. Okay, everyone, have a great day. See everyone tomorrow. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, mate.
Blake. Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.
All right. And, join right now and you could be there for the morning edge because you just saw a slice of what's going to happen today. And that's it. Adios, everyone. Thank you, team. You're welcome, Saloon. All you guys, Laura. Adios.